Hi everybody. Long time no see. Welcome back to Future Fiber. This is your host Jenny, and it's a channel where I talk about all the crafty things that I do. It's mostly knitting. We are going to be doing a little bit of an update on my knitting and crocheting projects today. I've been a bit MIA the past couple of weeks, months. It was a busy month for me, both personally and what's the opposite of personally? Professionally. Anyway, so that's kind of where I've been. My birthday was also last month, Aries season, everybody. So that was another reason why I was randomly doing a little bit more personal things last month too. I don't know, all of those are excuses. I just didn't feel like knitting. That's really the base of it. But I do have some things. Just because I didn't feel as motivated to knit doesn't mean I didn't knit anything. I have a very proud thing that I want to start off with finished objects. If you guys are long-time viewers of this channel, you might be familiar with this guy that's been with me for a very long time. I actually started this sweater probably around the same time last year, and we're finally done. And I will say I'm quite proud of it, even though it took a year to finish. The big thing is that I really sat down and finished it, because I almost gave up on it a couple times, but by then I had to put too much effort into it. So I know that there's such a thing called sunk cost fallacy, but in this case, I really do think it was just better off to finish the thing, and I'm very happy with it. Let me get up and show you. Her. In her glory. Okay, well, this is the Minto sweater by knitonomy, and it's knit up with Holst Garn Supersoft in the colorway Princess and Purl Soho Coorie in the colorway Silver Lilac. Finally, in the episode that I am done with this project, I can remember the yarn names without having to look at any notes. It only took a year, and now I never have to talk about this again. So what is that? I don't know. I don't care. I'm done. And I will just wear this, and I will never have to do another stitch on this guy ever again. Which makes me sound very spiteful, but I am a little bit, because it took so long and I really didn't expect it to. But, you know, by the end of this project, I have decided that I love the look of cables, but I don't actually like knitting cables. I think I'm okay admitting that. It took so long for me to come around to that, but I think I am okay with admitting that. Originally, when I started this project, the needle size that you use for it is 5mm. And I thought, that's bigger than like 4 or 3 that I've been knitting with. It'll go so much faster. I was wrong. I was a fool, and I was wrong. Because, well, it's a combination of factors. One is cables. I don't know why I thought all over cables would not be so time consuming. I was wrong. Number 2, the yarn combination just made it really difficult to knit quickly. It's, I think it would have been fine if it was 1 strand of Holst Garn Supersoft, or even like 2 strands of Holst Garn Supersoft held together. But because this has the mohair Coorie in it, it was just like not the easiest. The Coorie yarn is very splitty and mohair is grippy, so I just didn't love the experience of knitting with those 2 yarns together. And I still have a lot of it left, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that, but that's for future Jenny to figure out. If you can't tell, the sweater is massive. Quite possibly the largest sweater I have made and own. And I am a girl who likes big sweaters, okay? So if I am saying that this is very oversized, then, well, that means nothing, because you don't know how big I am, but, you know, it's a lot. This is a lot. Of course, I meant to measure this before I filmed this, but because I have brain rot, I did not remember that. So I will put the measurements here. Editing Jenny, I trust you to do that. Editing Jenny here, I have the results. Is 142 centimeters in the chest area. Observe. Bro, that's so wide. It obviously grew quite a bit too after blocking, and therefore the sleeves are actually quite short because I did have to shorten them from the original pattern suggestion, which had you do like 5 or 6 repeats of the cable pattern, but I'm pretty sure I only did 4.5. And same with the body. I don't know if you can tell, but the body is also very long. It does cover my booty. You can't see anything. Take my word for it, it covers my butt. I'm 5'7", or 169 centimeters in metric land, and it covers my butt. So it's long as well, but I also took out about 2 cable repeats, I think. I did end up going back after I finished the sleeves and adding, I think, another half cable repeat to the body, because I just really wanted to make sure that I liked this project and I would never have to go back and edit it. So I wanted to make sure that when I bound off, I was donezo. So I knew that I just wanted a little bit more length, so that's what I did. This is the lighter version of the sweater. The sweater has 6 sizes. ABC, lowercase, ABC, uppercase. This is B, lowercase. My final review of this is that I am happy with the results. However, I don't know if I can, in good conscience, like, recommend other people knit this. I don't know. I just don't feel that the fit, it would be really versatile. Well, I think there's that element too. The limited sizing is a bit of a bummer, and I understand that with the cable pattern and grading and whatever, that can be difficult, but I don't think this kind of oversized fit will look good on everybody. And I feel like because the sweater is so drop shoulder and the fabric itself, as you can see, is a little bit drapey because it does have that mohair in it. I don't know if it's like really the best look. I was actually, when I first bound off, I was a little bit disappointed because I thought the shoulder was just so loose and the sleeves were so short that it just didn't feel entirely practical as a sweater. I do like how it looks. I do like how it feels on me. It's warm, it's fuzzy, and all that, but I think this will be really dependent on, like, your preference in dress. If you don't I can't see this working for somebody if they don't really like super oversized fit, because I think you will have to end up making a lot of modifications. I think another thing, I did flag this kind of in one of my earlier videos, but the shoulder, oh yeah, look at that. Actually, I really like how the shoulder detail is how you pick up the pattern and it just continues through the shoulder and the back. So I will give it a thumbs up for that one. I guess this isn't an effort to not make too much bunched up fabric in the armpit because this is so oversized, but I just felt like the back panel slopes downward too dramatically, almost, that I don't know if this would have been different if my row gauge was maybe different. Maybe the sloping trapezoidal shape of the back panel would have been shorter, so it wouldn't be so like meh. But I didn't really love that fit too much. Still now I don't like super love it. I don't know. Like, I just think I prefer my drop shoulders to go a little bit more square, like this. How do I describe this? This almost fits more like a dolman sleeve. It's not, but it almost does because of the way, because how wide the sleeves are, and also because of how sloped the back shoulder panel is. So I feel like this can have a little bit of fit problems if you are somebody who doesn't look the best with dolman sleeves or dolman style tops. I don't know. I'm just saying things. That's just like kind of how I felt about it. If I did do a do-over of the sweater, I would knit the smallest size. I just think that would work better for me in terms of fit. Not that this doesn't look good. I just don't know if I want something that is so oversized like this. And I think I would actually use maybe 2 strands of wool and not use mohair. Well, this mohair too, Coorie, like, pretty color, 100% mohair, all of that is good, right? But I can see why it was discontinued. So good job on Purl Soho for that, but I wish they would stop discontinuing their yarns because it makes my life harder. But in this case, I can understand why, because this fluff, this gets everywhere. This sheds like a yeah, this sheds like crazy. I find mohair bits in literally everything I own. And if it's a day where I have lip gloss on, oh girl, it's game over. My lips will be covered. But good sweater. Good. Glad I finished it. I got some wear out of it before it gets super hot, you know. It's spring in New York and I can wear it like draped over my shoulders or whatever. Oh, also, side note. For my birthday, I went and got myself a color season analysis test because I think I've talked about it a couple times on this channel before, and I just thought it would be a fun thing to do. You know what they told me? They told me exactly what I thought I was. I thought I was a cool summer light. So basically the colors are baby pink, light blue, pale yellow, like lemon yellow, bleach white. Yeah, I look like absolute garbage in orange, especially like traffic cone orange, like this. Not my color. Apparently I don't look good in black. Anything that is very high contrast will apparently not very look good on me. So I learned that. And then you know what the girl told me? She was like, I don't actually love purple on you. And I was like, everything I make is purple. So that kind of shifted my worldview a bit, but not really because I don't care. I'm gonna wear whatever I want. But curiosity satiated, and good to know that I was doing everything right. Except for my makeup. They were like, your makeup is too warm. You need to throw everything out and buy it again. And I was like, cool. Sexy. Thanks. And then I proceeded to not do that. So, you know. But it was fun. I recommend if you're in there. I got it done at Tech Lab in New York. I think it's by Times Square. But I'm sure there's other ones that are equally as good. That was just the one that came up first on Google. So that's what I did. I haven't done this in a while, so I'm in a yapping mood. But we don't have that much to go through, so we'll just continue. I have Miffy on my lap because... Oh yeah, have you noticed my new swatch wall? I am doing a little bit of revamp in my office slash sewing room slash whatever because I got a new sewing machine and I just need to clean the area up a little bit. Anyways, what was I going with this? Oh yeah, but here's here's Miffy's dress. And it's on a little coat hanger. Because she has a new dress. And that's the second finished object. I kind of did this on a whim. But it's a crochet pink dress. And it has a collar. Lace collar. This is all crochet. I didn't use a pattern. I just measure around Miffy. And then just went and did that. So yeah. Once again, Miffy pattern is Miffy with clothes, crochet Miffy with clothes. I got it on Etsy. But yeah, that's the second finished object. I debated showing this, but I don't care because Miffy is cute and yeah. I have a bit of an obsession, as we know, and my friends for my birthday got me all Miffy themed things, so my house is now overrun with Miffy everything, which is not a bad problem to have, honestly. Can you sit here? All right, cool. The third finished object is, maybe I'll just kind of go out of order actually. The third finished object, I really should have vlogged this, but I did not because I'm a clown. But it's a cat hat. Another cat hat. This one's knit. This one's rib, 1x1 rib, and it has a tubular cast on, and I just guessed the stitch count for the hat. I'm pretty sure. I don't even remember what it was, so I'm so sorry if you want to replicate this. But I knit this on like 6.5mm needles, I think, or 6. It's hand spun. It's my first hand spun. No, it's not my first hand spun yarn, but it's my first hand spun project. My first hand spun yarn was actually this green yarn. Very thick. Very thick boy. This is some roving that I got. It was either the Woolery or somewhere on Etsy. But this is Rambouillet, I'm pretty sure. Or it's either Rambouillet or BFL. But it was on sale because it was green. I don't know why, if that was why it was on sale. But it was on sale. That's why I got it as practice yarn. And then I made this ugly ball of yarn or skein. And somehow I felt ready to tackle on the world. So I did buy some carders that you can't see because I am not going to get up to get those carders. And I took some scrap yarn that I had from various projects. The scrap yarn that I got, I made sure they were natural fibers mostly. I wanted it to be all wool, and then I had like Rambouillet roving, like this white color, off-white color. So I mixed those together on the hand carder, and then I just spun some yarn using my drop spindle. It took a lot of trial and error, and I'm still not very good at it. As you can see by how bulky yarn this is. This is chunky yarn. It's very thick and thin. But I think it's pretty cute. It makes a little like, it makes it very textured. So, I don't know. I'm pretty happy with it, and I like how chunky it is. So it kind of like stands up on its own, and I don't look good in hats normally, so this is like as best as it's gonna get with me and hats. But I like how chunky it is, so that it kind of like gives more volume to the side of my head and stuff. So, and then I think the color scheme is pretty cute too. I made sure to use pink and blue yarn so that I could accent it through the white base. I can't imagine just spinning carded scrap yarns. I know there's a bunch of people that have done it on YouTube already, but basically the method that I did was I cut up the leftover scrap yarns into little slivers, and then I like carded them, and then I blended them on the same carder. I don't know if that's like the right way to do it, but then I made like little roulags out of them and then spun them. I think this turned out to be like a little bit over 50 grams of yarn. I want to say it was like 70 grams of yarn to make this, and I just did it until the yarn completely ran out. So that was a little project, and I'm glad that I was able to, it's kind of cool that I was actually able to make something, you know? Like, I was like really into spinning for a little bit, so I did that quite a bit, but I haven't done that since I like finished this, and I have a little bit of spun practice yarn here. Maybe I will produce enough yarn to knit something bigger next time. Maybe it can be a vest. But I do like the chunky yarn, but I think I want to try making my yarn a little bit finer next time so that it's more versatile, you know? Like, I only had enough, and then the only thing that I could think of was to make a hat with this yarn. So next time I'll try using it maybe in an accent as in clothes or something. I think that could be pretty cool. But now I'm like in this thing where I'm like, okay, well, what scrap yarn can I collect to use? And all of them seem to be sock yarn, so we'll see where we go with that. But that's my cat hat and its birth story. It came from recycled materials and some not recycled materials, like a new yarn, new roving. But I'm very pleased with it, you know? So even a person who has zero spinning experience could make something that doesn't look too bad. I'm not gonna say it looks perfect, but it doesn't look bad. I like it. I'm not done. I have one more. Crochet. I got into the realm of amigurumi and well, I got in, as we have noticed, that I only crochet when I need something or want something, so I wanted to make this little head of a character. If you know K-pop, you might know this, but I'll put the tutorial that I followed down in the description box. I just got some cotton yarn from Michael's for the body, and then the rest is like all the yarn that I had just laying around the house. But this is Loops and Threads Classic Cotton. I don't know why I bought 2 of these. I only needed 1, less than 1. But I think I'm gonna make another Miffy with the leftover, and then give it out to friends or put it on my various other bags. All of my bags have bag charms on them because I am crazy and I like sounding like jingling whenever I walk around. I assert dominance in the office by having the loudest set of keys and key cards in the office. Wherever I walk around, I'm like jingle, 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 so you can hear me coming from like 78 cubicles away. So that's the way that I assert dominance in the workplace. But this is my latest addition to my bag of little horrors. Pretty cute. And then I just had this thing laying around, this keychain bit laying around, so yeah. I really gotta like start giving these away though, because now I have too many charms. And I enjoy making them, but I don't need this many, so I think I'm gonna start giving them away. Alright, now we're done with the finished objects. This one made me irrationally upset. This is my bootleg Patagonia Retro X inspired jacket, zipper jacket that is going to be modified heavily from the zipper cardigan pattern by Cookie the Knitter. I know it's a lot, but we have the bodice, so we have the vest portion. Now we just need sleeves. And let me tell you, I feel like I've been working on this since the dawn of time. I know that is false because I started this not that long ago. It's not at the level of the Minto sweater yet, so I'm just complaining because I'm a complainer. Couple of things. This is knit in Plotulopi, 2 strands. One is lighter gray, the second is medium gray, and this was knit in like 5mm needles or 5.5 or something like that. So it's not like the teeniest knit. The needle size, once again, is proof that the needle size does not matter in how fast I can knit something, because this took forever because I think I am a Plotulopi hater. I think I just need to come to terms with that. I've given it a fair try at this point. I've knit this whole thing, and I don't think I like the knitting experience. Number 1, it gets tangled like there is no tomorrow, and it breaks on me constantly because I keep yanking on it, and it does not want to be tugged. Which is fine. That's okay. I just can't move the plates from where they are designated in the house, ever. I just gotta knit there. That was one of the reasons why this was slow. But reason number 2 is that this thing, the Plotulopi has so much grip, I guess, that it's just harder to knit. I felt like every time I was knitting with it, I was having to like yank my hand backward, which like kind of hurt my wrists a little bit. Maybe I'm just a bad knitter. That's also possible. However, I just didn't love working with it because it wasn't like super fast. So that was number 2. Number 3 is I am knitting this off gauge, number 1. Number 2, it's huge. I'm knitting the 3rd largest size, but the original pattern has you use 4mm needles. I'm pretty sure that I'm using 5. But even aside from that, this is just a lot of stitches. I don't know. That's pretty big. It's rolling up in the front, so you can't tell, but it's pretty big. It's a lot of stitches. And I was not understanding why. When I got to joining the front and the back, I was like, this is taking forever. I've been toiling for hours and days and months. Because it's a big sweater. Surprise! Who would have thunk that if I knit a big sweater, it would take frickin' forever? So, yeah, that's why it took so long. But I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out, honestly. All of those things put aside, I like how it's turning out. The top portion here where I tried to mimic a seam, it's still not that visible here, but you can tell that there is like something, a little hint of something going on. So at the bottom where it's also supposed to simulate a seam, I try to do something different. It kind of looks like a ribbed, and that is because it is. Well, it's supposed to be like a rib double knit. I don't know. This doesn't look bad. I'm like not that pressed about it. It looks fine. It's a little bit more visible. I think I should have just done a roll of purl stitches instead of doing all this stuff. I was just trying to experiment, and I don't think the experiment was really that successful. So there's that. It's fine. Maybe it'll look different once it's all blocked. That's another thing. I did not block this yet. So at this point, I'm debating if I want to block this before I start the sleeves, or I might do that. I might block it before I start the sleeves. I am kind of like sick of it, so I need to put this on ice. I got to this point where I bound off the bottom literally like last night or something, so we are kind of, you know, not burnt out per se, but we need to put this guy on ice. Here's what I'm very proud of. Let me show you. The edge. Please admire the edge. I was kind of debating like what I want to do with the bottom of this. If you look at the Patagonia Retro X jackets, the bottom is just like a row of piping that is like the same contrast color as like the top strip of the collar, the neck that comes up. And the neck also does have like a row of piping that does go underneath that contrast fabric. So I was like, do I want to mimic the Retro X jacket to a T, or do I want to do something different? And of course, me being a special snowflake, I wanted to do something different. What it's supposed to do is kind of simulate like 2 rows of piping and then like bias tape, which is also piping. Anyway. So I have this contrast blue yarn, which is actually, I held 2 strands of this sock yarn together, and this is Hobie Friends sock wool. And I bought this a bit ago to make socks. And this is the colorway 84. I got it because I really liked how vibrant this blue was, and I wanted to make a pair of socks with it. And I was right in using this for this little trim here because I think it looks really vibrant and cute. And then how I did this edge was I knit 4 rows just in stockinette with this contrast yarn. And then on the 5th row, so on the knit row, I kind of turned the edge towards the wrong side. I knit it to the wrong side, if you know what I mean. So like you fold it over, you can see that it's folded over, and then knit to the bottom edge, the starting edge of the blue. I'm not sure if that made any sense. From there, I did an I-cord bind off with this blue yarn, which is left over from knitting my boyfriend's Christmas sweater from last Christmas. This is Barocco Vintage in the colorway Acai. But I tried to kind of bind that off tight, so that's why you can see that the bottom is like a little bit tighter, because I didn't want it to be too wide, like with those Patagonia jackets, I think the bottoms are usually a little bit scrunched up, so it makes kind of this like bubble effect on the bottom. So I kind of wanted to do that as well. And this is a 3-stitch I-cord bind off. For the I-cord, I did use the I-cord maker tool, and it went much faster. I actually forgot about it until I went like maybe a quarter of the way, and I was like, oh yeah, tools. I could use tools. And then so I did use the tool. Now that I've done the edge of this, I am kind of like reinvigorated to kind of get back into it and finish this. But I think I will do the trim and maybe the collar after I block this. Before I move on to the sleeves, because I know I'm going to hate the sleeves. So what's left on this is I need to do pocket, patch pocket, and then I need to knit collar. So hopefully it'll all be a vibe, and it'll be ready by next winter. It is what it is. Life goes on. It's not the end of the world. So that's my heavily modified zipper sweater, zipper cardigan by Cookie the Knitter, which is now going to become a Retro X jacket. I almost feel bad calling it Cookie the Knitter pattern because like I'm just not following the pattern at this point. But that's what it started from, so you gotta give her the creds, you know? Next one is the Road Sweater by Ozetta. I haven't really gotten that far yet. I think the last time you saw it, I had maybe just joined in the round or just was almost at the point of joining in the round, but I'm just working away at the bottom. This is knit up with Hobie Winter Glow, and this is still my first ball of it, so I'm wondering, I mean, I did need to buy a second ball of this, but I am wondering, like, this is a monster ball size, so I feel like if you want to knit a shawl with this or something, I think it would be okay just getting one. You don't need to. And it's held together with a 100% alpaca, blown alpaca around a linen core, and I got it from Color Mart. It comes in a cone. It's heavy lace weight alpaca silk special in the colorway glycine. I don't know if they sell this still. If they do, I will leave a link in the description. But I really like this. I like Color Mart's blown yarns. I do not order their mohair because my experience with their mohair wasn't like super great. I just didn't think it was like as soft as alpaca, so I actually get their blown alpaca over the mohair, and I am anti mohair pilled now, so I don't use mohair if I can help it. So anyway, all those things. I don't know, just chugging away at it. I'm kind of worried because the neck hole looks kind of big, but it's supposed to come up more, so maybe that will fix it. This also has been a slightly slower going process because I can't carry this cone as readily around, and then the ball of yarn that I'm using too is also huge. So if I wanted to put this in my work bag during like commuting or whatever, it's just like a lot, you know? It's a lot to carry. So I just haven't been carrying this guy around as much. That's why it's not really getting done. But now I have 2 more whips that you have not seen. But I will start on the vein of bringing things during my commute. I actually started this project, and I'm kind of worried that it's going to go into the graveyard again, because I always do that with projects that kind of start out like this. But this is my commuter project. You're like, what is that? It's a hat. It's the not the hipster hat. It's the other one. It's one of Petite knit hat patterns, the weekend hat, the one that was popular like 2 years ago. I already had the pattern because I made this for a friend once, the weekend hats, I mean. So I already had the pattern, so I started knitting it. I don't think I have enough yarn to finish this actually, because the weekend hat is triple folded brim. I don't think I have enough for a triple folded brim, so depending on how this does, it might be a single folded brim. It's whatever, it doesn't matter. I did tubular cast on so that I could hide that if I needed to, so that's what's going on. This is a fully scrap yarn project, so we're using a lot of sock yarns like this, a lot of similarly colored blue yarns, you know. These are, I don't even know what these are all from. I think this one is Cascade Heritage. This one is from an advent calendar from Biscotti Yarns like years ago. I'm pretty sure this is Regia 4-ply. This is some sparkly yarn that I got from an indie dyer on Etsy. And it's held together with some mohair that I'm still using and trying to go through. And this is Drops Kid Silk. And in the colorway, I don't remember. It's one of those like painted ones. I used it for my Robinson wrap cardigan like 2 years ago. Still using up stuff. So this is another nice little, you know, stash busting project, and also something small that I can carry on the train and not have people look at me funny. And also I can knit in meetings or if I'm sitting at the computer or something. So it's like nice and discreet, you know what I mean? Something to carry around. It's always nice to have a carry around project. And those used to be socks for me, but now that I got the sock knitting machine, I don't know if I need to like make more socks. I haven't worn hand knit socks in a while because they're all in the wash and I am lazy because they're all at the bottom of the pamper and I did not want to take them out separately to wash them. So that's my bring along project that I cast on a whim. I had like a I had like a 7-hour workshop or something at work, and I was like, I can't survive this workshop without a knitting project, so I quickly cast that on the night before. Last but not least, we have, I actually haven't knit a petite knit pattern in a while, so it's good to return to basics sometimes, but I am knitting the Cloud Blouse, and it's a cloud blouse, but it doesn't look like the cloud blouse now, does it? The pattern uses like mohair, right? So it's supposed to be like super fluffy and floofy and bouncy and all of that. But I had this yarn, this combination of yarn, and I knew that I wanted to do some sort of striped shirt with it, but I just didn't know what pattern I would use. So this started from the yarn and then I found the pattern for it. So the yarn that I'm using is HelloMello Handspun, and this is in the colorway Kelly Green. It's fingering weight yarn. I only had 2 skeins of this, and each skein is 400 yards. So I bought extra yarn to hold with this. This is I believe this is Brooklyn Tweed, the contrast yarn. Of course, in need, I cannot find what I need. Why would I be able to find anything? Anyway, I'll put it down somewhere. So before I settled on the Cloud Blouse, I actually wanted to knit a other loops pattern with it, and it's the direction loop tee, but long sleeves. So that has like a combination, it's like saddle shoulder construction, I'm pretty sure, and has a combination of vertical stripes going down the shoulder and then like varying stripes of horizontal, varying sizes of horizontal stripes, and I really like how it looks. It's very chic, very cool. I like it. But then I came across this Instagram got me again, and they served me an ad of, I believe, an Alex and Mill sweater, and it's just even stripes with like a slight mock neck. Needless to say, I was sold, and I was kind of like, okay, well, I want to find a sweater that's going to be light and will have this sort of like mock neck structure, and that's why I settled on the Cloud Blouse. I was going to like see if I wanted to modify the Cloud sweater, but then the gauge was not right, so I ended up buying the Cloud Blouse pattern instead. I believe they're pretty much all the same, so I don't know, don't take my word for it. I don't know the differences between the patterns except for gauge, so that's what I landed on. I honestly don't know how the fit of the Cloud Blouse versus the Cloud Tee is different, except for the sleeve length. But I wanted long sleeves, so that's what I got. And I'm just jogging along. I haven't gotten quite to the combining the back and the front, joining in the round, but we'll get there soon. And then I think this will be a pretty quick knit. It actually didn't take me that long to get to this point, but I did put this guy on ice so that I could get to a decent place of progress with my Retro X jacket. Yeah, so I'm trying to just like, you know, even out my time with all these different projects, and that's where I am. I've already been yapping for an hour, by the way, so I don't think I'm going to have acquisitions in this video either, and the sun's going down. All those things combined means it's time to say goodbye. Let's do this again next time, and I will see you whenever that is. All right, bye.